Thank you everyone for sending Suji, all the Polish food recipe, pierogi, and others. Suji will make it soon, okay? So we will use some of her recipe. We're gonna make a video. Suji's gonna cook it and it's gonna taste amazing. In the meantime, we have 15 things that you didn't know about Poland. Yes, I think it's gonna be an amazing video and then we're gonna tell you what we think. Yes, let's get started.
Let's go.
Okay.
This is Travel Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, we present you with another incredible country. Today, we're looking at 15 things you didn't know about Poland. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get informed. Hello, Aluxers. It's time to take a virtual tour of Poland. Today, we're taking you on a trip to one of Eastern Europe's most beautiful countries. As many of you already know by now, Poland has been a major player in modern history with their implication in the world wars. Due to their location and their Jewish community, they are by far one of the countries that suffered the most in the early 1900s. Although nowadays most people visit them because of the concentration camp museums, there's so much more to Poland than just post-war trauma. It's a vivid country with welcoming people that carry the Eastern European mark, medieval architecture, and lots of culture.
Wow.
Out of all of their 38 million citizens, over 80% of them go through university, but at the same time, they are very, very religious. Pope John Paul II was from Poland.
80% go to university. Did I hear correctly?
Yeah.
This is crazy number. This is much higher than Canada.
Do they have free healthcare? Free education?
I don't know, but that's a really high number. Did I heard it correctly?
And they take great pride in that. Besides a very tough language, a brutal history, and a lot of smart people, Poland is a hidden gem of Europe, and we're going to let you in on its secrets, beauty, and luxury. Let's get started. Number 1. Many famous actors and directors are of Polish descent.
Oh.
Have you ever thought about the backgrounds of the most famous celebrities? Not all of them are Americans or British. Many celebrities have a variety of roots, and if you haven't noticed that by
Charlize Theron? I thought she was from South Africa.
their last names, the most notorious actors and directors are half Polish or of Polish ancestry. Emmy Award winner John Krasinski, Kristen Bell, Scarlett Johansson, Roman Polanski, or Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak are all Polish somewhere down the line. This shows how much talent and beauty Poland has to offer to the world. Number 2. Fashion and beauty is really big in Poland. In Europe, Italy and France are the most notorious players in the beauty and fashion industries. The biggest and most luxurious brands are located there, and most people forget about the others. Take notice, because some big brands we all know and love are actually from Poland. Starting with beauty, Inglot Cosmetics that recently launched a collection with J.Lo.
Do you know Inglot?
No, I don't know.
Okay, I don't recognize it either.
Was founded in Poland. Max Factor was founded by a Polish woman, and Helen Rubinstein founded a brand that was acquired by L'Oreal later on. Fashion-wise, Reserved and Mojito are 2 Polish brands.
Do you recognize?
Number
You know, I don't shopping with that kind of brand like that.
Oh, so you shop cheap clothes.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
3. They still kiss hands when meeting ladies. Basic manners have changed so much over the years. People nowadays shake hands or kiss on the cheek the most. There used to be a time when a man would kiss a lady's hand when meeting her as a sign of respect and courtship. If
Wait, but isn't it like all around Europe you do that? I always have the perception like Italy and France, they all do that, no?
Yeah, I think so, right?
Maybe
Like
the end
on
kiss
the
is
cheek.
special. Yeah, kissing the cheeks and kissing the hand. I thought it was common.
I feel like kissing the hand is even more like really respectful.
Yeah.
If you're not a member of the royal family, then you may not be so familiar with all these habits, but in Poland, they're still pretty common. Here, men will still kiss a girl or a woman's hand when meeting her, and even though it might seem bourgeois, it's cool. It's simply good manners, so get used to it. Number
Wait,
4.
is that Macron, the French president, with Trump?
It's cool. It's simply good manners, so get used to it. Number
super
4. There aren't too many immigrants. We all learn
Oh.
about the world wars in history class. There's a lot of movies, books, documentaries, and so on about the horrors that happened. Since Poland suffered the most from genocide, some of the after effects still haunt its citizens. Nowadays, Poland is a very homogenous society where people look at you very curiously if you're Black or Asian, and for that reason, there isn't too many African or Asian migrants there, not even in the bigger cities. Unfortunately, it'll likely take a few more generations for them to fully recover and be more inclusive.
She's making look like you guys are a bunch of racists. Is that true? I mean, you're watching our channel and Suji's Asian, so I don't think so, but
I'm racist too.
Suji don't like immigration. Suji don't, I love immigration, Suji don't like immigration, so you're gonna have fun with Suji.
Maybe. Well, especially this time right after what going on, the pandemic thing, they even like more racist to the like Asian people, especially when they saw all Asian look like some white people doesn't know that Asian people, there's a lot of country, but it seemed like they know only China. Every time when they saw like, for example, me, they always like say that I'm Chinese, thing like that. Are you Chinese? Thing like that. But sometimes when, when you listen to that, when they ask you, are you Chinese? Oh, Chinese girl. They feel like you also kind of racist too. Some people do not really like it when they call you Chinese, thing like that.
Yeah, well, it's because unless you have been traveling or living in Asia, for you, the Asian people will all look similar.
But it's not just that too. Some people like Asian country, some of them, especially older people, they not really like white people too. So sometimes, especially when you go deep in the rural place, you're gonna see that they also gonna look at you really weird. So for me, if you guys look at, like, for example, you look at Asian people really weird, I also gonna understand because we are enter your country, but then when you enter our country, some people also gonna look at you like really different too. I think so. It's normal, right?
I guess so.
Took a few more generations for them to fully recover and be more inclusive. Number 5. The richest man in Poland has a net worth of $3.7 billion. If you didn't know this already, Poland is pretty much among the fewer countries that dodged the financial crisis of 2008. Even though the crisis was not that bad in Poland, they're still not the country with the most billionaires. The richest person in Poland is Sebastian Kulczyk, the son of Jan Kulczyk, the richest man in Poland. He inherited his late father's investment fund and now runs it with his sister Dominika. He's now the president of the company and together with his sister took over the $3.7 billion fortune. Number 6. A rare luxury sports car was lost in France and found in Poland through social media.
What?
These days, social media can help with...
How do you lose a car like this and nobody noticed? Was it stolen?
Look like.
This is an Italian flag. What's going on?
in Poland through social media. These days, social media can help with voting campaigns, help find lost people, raise money, and so on. For an Arab millionaire, it helped him to find his luxury sports car that was stolen by a fake company in France. It was actually more like a scam, and we're talking about a Lamborghini Aventador, which was one of roughly 5 models in a limited edition, costing around $500,000 each. The car was supposed to be safely shipped from Cannes back to London, but it never reached its destination. It was then when he posted on social media about it, and his 70,000 followers helped him track it down. The main suspect was a Polish officer who may have planned to take the car to Russia when Interpol caught up with him. Number 7. Poland wants more money from Germany over World War II reparations. Whenever something fishy happens in Poland that involves the whole EU, the conversation seems to always shift towards the World War losses. If Germany dares demand explanations from Poland officials regarding their behavior or changes, it backfires. Recently, some Polish officials demanded that Germany should pay post-war reparations because the 1.3 billion euros it was paid are not enough to cover 1% of the losses and damage they created. Unfortunately,
this is always a tricky topic. Even in America, when to talk about like slavery reparation, it's tricky because at the same time, like Poland is kind of thriving right now, right? Poland is kind of doing well. you don't want to depend on a government or depend on another country for your success. You want to be able to like try by yourself. So I feel like sometimes when anything happens and you turn to your neighbor and you're like, please, like, give us something, save us. I think it creates a kind of a inferiority complex, and Poland seems to be past that in a way. But I don't know enough about like this particular situation to comment. But that's just my thought.
We saw that it's between the two countries. They always like asking for more money too. But I don't know how much that you already received. But sometimes I feel like it's unfair for people these days. You know, for what people in the past did for that country, and then it's like you need to be in debt for all your life, like for the new generation that you did not create.
For them, Germany was highly punished for what they did during that time, and they may not get any more money out of it. Number 8. North Korea sent thousands of children to Poland in the 1950s. If you think that the World War was traumatizing for Poland, then you need to look a little more into their history. Being a former communist country, Poland had to take some favors from other fellow communist countries like Russia or North Korea. Back in the 1950s, when the Korean War started, Kim Sung-II decided to send thousands of children to Poland, Hungary, and Russia to escape the war. Years after, they were deported back to North Korea, but as a new movie about the subject shows, they wanted to stay in their new homes. This movie is called The Children Gone to Poland.
Wow.
Number 9. A bunch of Polish students invented the modern drug test.
Really?
The first university in the world was established in Prague. A few years later, the second university was founded, this time in Poland. Nowadays, the tradition of culture and science still goes on in Poland, and we can see that just by looking at their achievements, without mentioning all the Nobel Prize winners and famous scientists. A group of students from Poland launched an app that helps people get tested for certain drugs. It uses the phone's camera to scan the eye for anomalies and other symptoms. So the next big thing in drug screening may just come from Poland. Number 10.
Wait, I've never heard of this.
Yes.
They scan your eyes through an app?
And then they found something amazing.
It's not on the market yet, right?
It uses the phone's camera to scan the eye for anomalies and other symptoms. So the next big thing in drug screening may just come from Poland. Number 10. The world's largest medieval castle is in Poland. Europe is full of old and beautiful castles. Poland was also a country that boomed during the Renaissance period.
Yes.
And even though it was severely bombed, the world's largest castle still stands strong.
Wow.
The Malbork Castle, the world's largest medieval castle dating from the 13th century, is now turned into a beautiful museum. If you want to feel like a king, you don't have to move to France. There are many castles for sale all over Poland, with
For sale?
prices sitting modestly at $6 million. Number 11. They have milk bars that are actually restaurants.
Look, $6 million is not a lot.
For a castle, no, it's not that
Yes.
much, but there's probably a lot of maintenance that you need to do and stuff like this. You pay a lot of tax every year too, maybe.
Yeah, but you own that, and then
You can turn it into an attraction, I mean. But
yeah, there are a lot of things, and then in the future they're probably gonna don't have money.
because we did react to the top 10 or top 15 castle in Germany, and they were explaining the cost of maintenance every year and how it was owned sometime by family through generation, and some were owned by more like government, and most of them were used for an attraction, or it was not it seemed to be hard to make profit once you have that castle at this time.
I mean, it's even the price even lays down, some kind of painting.
Yeah, I know some art can be quite expensive.
Number 11. They have milk bars that are actually restaurants. All over the world, restaurants are restaurants, taxis are called taxis, and hotels are called hotels. This international convention is very useful until someone decides to change that. In Poland, milk bars are not what they seem. A milk bar is usually a cafeteria-like restaurant where you can eat food and have a drink at a relatively low price. Polish people prefer milk bars over fast food restaurants because the food...
Wait, what? I thought she looked like a nun. Do you recognize that it looked like?
She's just ready to go to the kitchen.
Oh, Okay. Okay.
low
Good.
price. Polish people prefer milk bars over fast food restaurants because the food is healthier and has a better price for its value. Number 12. There are sand
Oh,
dunes
yeah.
in the north. Poland is lucky enough to have a sea opening. Although its landscape is not the usual palm trees and pristine beaches, it's still a great place to enjoy the sunshine. They have the Baltic Sea, which is not the warmest water, but it's better than nothing. A pretty usual thing for that region is the fact they have sand dunes along the coastline. Because they're located in such a northern location, the dunes are blown away by the hard winds, and they actually move inland 10 meters each year. These sand dunes are unique in Europe and can be visited by anyone. Number 13. Polka dots and polka music are not from Poland. When you think of polka dots or the polka dance, you immediately attribute them to Poland. Well, we're here to
No, I attribute them to like the whole region. Like you have Ukraine, you have Czech Republic, you have Russia, you have like the whole east of Europe, I think, right? But polka, I think it's a Polish word, right? I think.
Polka dot.
Even in southern Germany, they have things like
It's
this.
normal.
In eastern Germany, they have things like this too.
to
In
tell
Czech
you that if you
Republic,
ever
in-
related the two of those, you're wrong. The polka dance is actually from the Czech region of Bohemia. The polka
See?
dots
from Czech Republic. That's what I
Yeah.
said.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's normal to share the like a region like that because like here too, like the northeast in Thailand, they also share the culture with like a Laos side because
Yeah.
it was like about was it ethnicity thing like that. Every
The
share.
what? What word?
Was it like a tribe?
A tribe? Oh, okay.
have multiple origins. They might be related to a Polish woman, but their fame and use dates are from the medieval times. No one really knows who invented polka dots and the name of the pattern. It can be Czech, Polish, or American. Nobody really knows. Number 14. You can't name your child whatever you want in Poland. Now that everyone is a fan of Game of Thrones and other famous series, the naming of a new baby has become way more interesting. Modern parents strive to give their babies the craziest and most unique names they can think of. In Poland, such behavior is not tolerated. You can't just go in and name your baby girl Daenerys. At the civil registry office, you'll be advised to choose a name that is appropriate, and you'll be given a list of names which are not recommended. If the name is too weird, they can refuse to register your baby, and you'll have to go to court to settle it.
Oh my!
Number 15.
But wait, in every country there are restrictions, like if someone was a serial killer or a genocider or like, cannot name your child Hitler or something like this. You cannot name your child like some crazy name throughout history or stuff like this. But I didn't know that like they have a specific long list, and then you need to try to see if they... But who want to name their child some crazy name? I mean, a character from Game of Thrones, that should be fine, though. Like, if you want to name your child Daenerys, like they said, I mean, it should be fine because, I mean, in 30 years, right? Nobody will remember the name Daenerys, so who care,
Well, I don't know. Maybe you're gonna remember.
No, they're not gonna remember,
I remember
If the name
Jon
has,
Snow,
if the name has like a historical significance and that name was like hated through history, that's a different thing. But a name from a TV show will lose its significance by the time the child is an adult, so who care?
Like, for example, in Thailand, right now the name is so weird because some people, they love to go ask, the fortune teller to give them a weird name to be lucky, thing like that. So it turned out like all the name is so weird and so long and difficult to read. But I don't think we have any law about that. But one law is that we cannot have the name that similar to like, royal family, thing like that.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
But everyone has a nickname in Thailand. For example, Sujari, her nickname is Poo, like poop.
Boo!
Buh. It means crab, right?
You cannot pronounce it.
Pronounce it.
Boo!
Poop.
See?
Poo. Poo.
Boo!
Puh. Poo.
Boo!
Buh.
Oi.
It means...
To register your baby, and you'll have to go to court to settle it. Number 15. They have a $7,250 vodka. Vodka and Poland work very well together. They've been well-known vodka lovers and exquisite producers of this alcoholic beverage for quite a while. Polish people like hardcore alcohol, and they're not
Oh.
afraid to crack
This one, Absolute Vodka.
This one easy to find everywhere.
Wait, it says country of Sweden on it. I was gonna say we have this one on Thailand. I recognize it. Absolute Vodka.
Craft
absolutely.
specialties and expensive concoctions. A few years ago, Poland launched a limited edition of their Belvedere vodka called Belver Bears, exclusively for the Cannes Film Festival. It was a beautiful bottle design in collaboration with DJ Jean Rock for the festival's parties. They priced it at $7,250 per bottle, including the plexiglass bear that holds it.
Why the people in the picture look Asian?
I don't know.
I feel racist.
She said it was used for the Cannes Festival, which is a festival in France. So,
Ah.
but it still doesn't explain.
Dollars per bottle, including the plexiglass bear that holds it. Well, Aluxers, that's all for Poland. Here's your award, a bonus fact. Number 16. The most expensive Polish art
You were talking about art earlier. More expensive than Castle. This one is more expensive than the Castle earlier.
sold for over $8,424,500. One of Poland's most famous Art Deco artists is Tamara de Lempicka. She was born in Poland from a Jewish, half-Russian, half-Polish family. She grew up in Western Europe where she perfected her art and is one of the most loved and talented Polish painters. Her famous painting, called Le Rêve, Rafaela sur fond vert, The Dream, sold at Sotheby's New York auction in 2011 for $8,424,500, making her the most expensive Polish artist ever. Thank you for making her the most.
What is the story? For some reason, I thought she was holding a baby, but
Wow, the picture named The Dream.
oh, okay. I mean, people pay for what they want to pay. If they want to buy it for 8 million, art is decided by the market, right? We live in a capitalist society, so you decide price is dictated by the people willingness to buy it. That's how it is, right? So we cannot really complain about the price. It's people willing to pay for it. Rich people will buy whatever, you know.
Yeah. But is this woman exist? No, right?
Well-
She looks so real.
Yeah, but the person earlier, she draw this,
Yeah.
which is probably probably have a personal story to it, or personal significance, right?
Yeah.
To me, it looked like someone, maybe she's dreaming, but it's, do you know what's interesting is that she has a belly that looked like a man body at the same time. It's like a man and woman body together. Like the body is not like completely realistic, right? It's still a little too muscular a little bit. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, and also the body, maybe it represents a body back in the day that, you know, you don't need to be slim, thing like that, but you
Maybe.
still can be pretty. Also, she had short hair, like, look like everything is opposite that what the beauty standard was.
Oh.
It was cute. It's like a mother sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I
Look at
thought.
it.
That's what I thought. It was like a mom holding, well, she holding her breath, but I thought she was like holding a baby.
Oh,
The
like-
motion that it give like.
Oh, like she cannot have baby. I'm trying to look at the picture if she looking at me.
Maybe she is. Okay, well, thank you for the amazing suggestion. Please suggest us more, and see you very soon.
Bye bye.
Bye.